information first. Okay, so our next item, what do we put on here? Is, what are we calling it? Oh, Vista Ridge. Sidewalk report. Okay, so per the city's, our Ferndale Municipal Code 1216, sidewalk maintenance and repair, if, a property owner can identify, or a property owner can notify the city if they have an issue with the sidewalk, if they feel it needs to be maintained, repaired, or reconstructed. So then Public Works, then we're required to, look into it and do an investigation.
Sorry.
And then we prepare a report that, we're supposed to prepare a report that's...
I don't care.
Ignore him.
Okay.
I always do. Oh, wow, presentation.
This is we would prepare a report of the findings and recommendations and present that to the council. So that's what we're going through those steps, but instead of going directly to the full council, we're going through committee first.
Okay.
And what the city council then, they review the information that's presented, and then say, okay, that's enough information, or if you want more, and then the council then declares whether a need exists for this maintenance, repair, or reconstruction. And then they decide the priority of the maintenance, depending on how much available funding that there is.
Wouldn't you also decide who pays for that?
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So then it says city council, this is just from the code, should normally require, must, ought, had, better, would, or have to. It's kind of interesting how they said should in here. That the budding property owner performs all maintenance. So that's just like sweeping, removing some vegetation, that kind of stuff. And they should normally require the Public Works Director to perform at city expense all minor patching or other minor repairs.
Where does rebuild fit in?
So then City Council should normally require, to agree to provide the labor if all costs of material paid by either the requesting party or the budding property owner for all reconstruction. So that's what's kind of key. And then this City Council should normally require. So the city, we haven't really been very, too consistent with this.
Okay.
But then under section 12.16, it says repair of damage. And in here, what I just want to point out is in the event of like maintenance, repair, reconstruction of sidewalks that is necessary as a result of an act or omission of the budding owner, any damage including the upheaval of the sidewalks by tree roots shall be repaired or reconstructed solely at the cost of the budding owner, causing or allowing the damage to occur. Okay. It's kind of important. I'm sorry I had to just read that.
Because I do see a tree.
But just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind but also think about the shoulds.
So they plant the tree that heaves the sidewalk, they pay for it. We plant the tree originally that heaves the sidewalk, we pay for
Is
it.
it-
Well, but on here, the
says that they
tree should have
cost
been
it.
planted by a previous,
The developer.
through a PUD, by
Right.
a developer.
By developer.
And then they
Good luck
buy the
doing that.
property.
And
The
they're
tree is, they're the budding owner.
Right.
So based on this,
So
based
tear up
on
any
what,
trees if you
But
move in.
would we allow them to cut the tree down if they anticipated it?
right, that's why we, trying to look at the code, we had a request from a property owner on Vista Ridge. Bo went out, he did the investigation, and so he's gonna run through that quickly, and then, may not make a decision today, but just want you to be thinking about it. So think about what we have currently have in our code in this situation, and then staff, we're looking for direction. Okay, so here's Bill.
So Vista Ridge, there's 88 sidewalk panels that need to be replaced, 47 trees that need to be taken down and stumps ground out because we can't take them out because they are growing around the sewer and the water system, so we can't pull them out.
Where
So we have-
exactly is Vista Ridge?
Vista Ridge is Vista across from Parkland. It's the
It's,
old homestead.
it's right across the street from your apartment complex.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's right on
You guys know where Vista? Okay, we need to point that out.
He knows where his apartment complex is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So on the aerial photo, is that, and
Right
then, and that was a PUD?
Yes.
PUD.
Homestead's first Ferndale development.
Yeah, so it's PD.
2000.
I live
Yeah,
right here.
finished in 2000. It
right
started
here.
in 97. So
I rent there.
Say that the number again. 47 panel. How big is a panel?
88.
88 sidewalk panels
And
that
how
are
big is a panel?
about 5 foot by 5 foot, 4 foot by 4 foot, 4 foot by 5 foot, something like that. So you can see, obviously, there's some other issues here, but we have expansion joint in these driveway sections that just have deteriorated, they're gone, and this is a huge gap. If you're riding a bicycle, any kind of bicycle, and you got in that, you would just get stuck. There's some significant issues with these trees. They're huge trees, and these are big gaps, do not meet ADA standard, to bigger than a 1/4 inch.
Oh,
That one's close to about a 3-inch lift right there, just about the whole panel sticking out.
Fair to say it was just inappropriate street trees.
Inappropriate, there's no root barrier, there's,
Okay, so
the
it's
trees
more than-
themselves are the wrong species, they're just
Right.
way too big.
Isn't there a section where they put the right trees in, but more so they put the wrong ones in?
Right.
This is a big deal, because, I mean, those people love those trees.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was gonna say, you
Yes, we do.
have a battle on your hands with that one.
They look really
So-
cool in the fall.
The other portion of this is we have curb sections that have heaved and lifted out
Oh.
along these street trees, and we have approximately 8 sections of curb to cut out and replace.
How?
It's
But leaving the trees and building around them a different sidewalk probably is not advantageous because there's
No.
other issues, the root intrusion.
It'll keep happening.
Utilities.
It'll keep going. Much like Front Street in Lynden, where you see them come through, and Lynden just puts something in their budget every year to replace the sidewalks.
Right,
We're just gonna go through and replace the sidewalks, keeping the trees.
yeah.
That's part of Lynden. This is a development in Ferndale, but this guy here, I spoke with him for quite a while, and he was just thanking the Lord that somebody finally showed up at his house. Apparently, he's been calling for quite some time. This is the first I've known about it.
Little
but-
does he know he might have to pay for this.
Yeah.
Careful what you.
And the complaints we get are
Look at
trespassing,
that one.
kids falling.
Yeah,
That's a lawsuit
you
waiting
know,
to happen.
yeah, if you're walking
Some
here.
one person
you know,
complained.
You're pushing a stroller.
My kid's never
The kid falls
so.
out. There's all kinds of different things that can
Yeah.
happen.
Superior slabjacking is not an option.
No, we're not slabjacking this. That's not gonna work.
It could end up kind of a, yeah.
So this one here, this isn't on a panel seam. This is actually a crack in the center of the panel, and it just broke all the way across. And that's a pretty significant break.
Well, we only have 5 minutes left. You want to talk about costs?
Cost, yeah.
Okay, so here's another section of broken curb. You can see where the tree has just split this curb right through the gutter, and it's getting into the
They
street.
planted it right in the seam.
Yeah. So, really quick, 88 ramp, not to current standard, but this car parked in front of there leads us to believe that nobody's using this.
For Sandboys.
No, they're not using it
That's
today.
my car. No.
So, based on the cost estimates we've come up with, are rough numbers because we didn't go out for a bid. We just kind of put some packages together as quick as we could for the meeting. All in all, $44,000, almost $45,000 worth of work here.
Oh, that's less than I thought.
Right.
Okay.
We should be aware too, from an insurance standpoint, that once we're notified of issues and we don't work to do that, and then someone files a claim, we're gonna pay
Someone's
that
just
claim.
gonna go fall down.
Yeah. So we had an issue, for instance, on Church Road. There was a pothole right as we were getting ready to do it. The street started falling apart, and so there was a big pothole, and a guy went through it and it just severely messed up his car. He came in, filed the claim, and our insurer said, "Well, when did we know about it?" Well, we didn't know about it until they informed us of it. So we weren't liable. We denied the claim. In this case, we've been notified by someone that there are issues, and so there is an insurance component to this that everyone should be aware of as we consider this. Now, having said that, it's $44,000.
But does that also include taking down the trees and digging out the stumps?
We're grinding the stumps.
Grinding the stumps.
So yes, the grinding of the stumps to get them down below the surface, that does not include planting trees back. All it does is replace the sidewalk panels, puts some kind of, well, we'd have to have the ADA ramps engineered to make sure that we were getting into compliance with the ADA standards if we started to replace them.
What happens to the roots that are under the sidewalk? As they start to deteriorate, will the sidewalk?
No.
Okay.
No, the sidewalk will stick.
Okay.
It'll pinch in that heave point. It'll just stay there.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter if the ground settles back out, it will stuck. It is just stuck. Because the ground underneath of it will fill back in and there's no way to
So if you put the
press it
sidewalk
down.
over the.
So if you decide to fix the sidewalk and replace a couple of panels, how far down do you go to get rid of roots? Or do you? You just kind
You
of,
just get down to your
the gravel
4-inch
and-
depth.
yep.
And
Okay, and then
well,
pour the
6
sidewalk.
inches because you're gonna
Sure.
put drain rock in the bottom. And then
okay.
put your 3.5, 4 inch
street,
concrete on
the
top.
trees, street trees properly installed, which is in baskets that force the roots down and all that kind of
This
stuff.
is the detail that we
Yep.
use now.
For Main Street.
I
Or,
don't think
capital
in Vista
and private.
Ridge, you're gonna get away with most of those people. We're gonna have a huge contingent of people that are bitching and complaining if you start taking, because it's beautiful to drive through there, if you don't look at the sidewalks.
Well, so let's go backwards on that. I mean, you have an advantage there, is that was the first neighborhood that Phil Petrasek ever really explored the neighborhood watch program. So he probably still has all the emails, all the contacts. You really should have a neighborhood meeting and say, this is the situation.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've re-upped their homeowners association, I suspect not. But those people would be smart to say, okay, while we're doing this, we're gonna assess ourselves and put in new trees.
Yeah, appropriate trees.
But you just, Mel's right, is, you know, you sort of can't schedule and go start doing it. I don't wanna
No,
answer-
and,
I don't wanna
but
answer my
we
phone.
have to have we take this to the council, and then any, we can get, people can go there and comment, and so there is a public process that's involved with
So you want to
this.
talk about this
I
Monday?
get some
or-
more neighborhood.
No,
this is
no,
just-
we need to just introduce it, have this committee.
I agree with Gary, you gotta get this.
Yeah.
We need,
you
we're
gotta get
looking
this to a
for
meeting.
discussion, direction.
So I mean, I guess that's our direction, is have a community meeting,
I
put up
think
some signs. and
if nothing else, you put door hangers on up there. That there's gonna be a community
Well,
meeting.
let's work on maybe some better cost estimates for the whole thing, including the trees. So that way we can say, if we want to do, or whoever we are, do a complete project, this is really what we're talking about, because that's what people are gonna wanna know. They wanna know, how much is it gonna cost?
Including replacement trees?
Right, exactly. So we can say, okay, the city will do this, perhaps you guys need to pay for this, but we need to know what this and this costs.
Well,
Yeah, there's some other questions too, though. When Bo showed me some of the pictures, or I showed him where there's no issues right where my house is, but there are examples of trees in the middle of two properties. Who pays?
Right.
Who's responsible? So, well, this is going to be a challenge.
They don't
But
It's
there's
going
gotta
to
be
be.
a property line.
No, there's no HOA.
Oh, there's no HOA?
There is a property line. What Sam's
It's
saying
like it's gonna be on
is,
someone's property.
The tree
the
is
way
right
that
on
they
the
were
line.
playing
It is.
Yeah.
the one resident there that I said I talked to, he's got 2 trees in his frontage. Both are heaved, both need 3 panels replaced, both the trees need to come down. If he's responsible for that, his neighbors are off scot-free. He's got 2 trees.
And everyone
Because of the way that
benefits
they
from the
stagger.
trees.
Oh, you pick your lot
So-
and deal with it.
Is this both
And-
sides of the street?
Yeah.
This is the whole
Throughout the whole
all way
development.
through.
Drive up through there, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
a
guess
really nice
talk to the
looking.
community, get some
We're not
better numbers, talk to the community.
And it's gorgeous. It's really a nice looking area,
But both
with the
right.
exception of the
It's like
sidewalks, yeah.
walking up and down.
Oh, yeah,
We're gonna have to do it,
Yeah.
because we're gonna have to do it, because it's.
because we've been
it's-
notified, yeah.
Well, if someone
This
hurts
process,
themselves.
Yeah.
Have we TV'd the sewer? I mean, can we convincingly say that this is just not an issue of sidewalks, but tell the folks there, this is why we have to take the trees down? Because I think some of them are gonna say, well, why not just take out, just put in new panels, leave the trees, we love our trees, but if the issue is, it's not the
Because
sidewalk,
the
it's the
roots are gonna keep
sewer, it's the
growing,
whatever.
and so's the tree.
Yeah, so I
Well,
don't know if we do.
Wayne Larson's daughter lived up there. Her sewer system was plugged with tree roots. Called and wanted me to go up there and cut down her tree. And I said, no, that is your tree. You bought the property. It's your tree. You take care of your side sewer that the roots are growing into your house through. Just got a call last night. Lady's sewer's plugged up. We went up there. Our main's running fine. I'm assuming that there's a tree growing through their side sewer. It's
So I guess,
Prevalent, it's
so is
there.
the problem the side sewers, and therefore are not,
Well, that's
terrible way to say it,
interesting. That's
or is
a
it our main?
development should be all plastic. Well, that's bad workmanship there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so any problems with the main, or is it just?
No, the
services?
main's been
Okay.
fine. Our-
So it's
our
the
sewer
private.
main is good.
So on their
It's
side.
side sewers.
But then on that there though, Greg, they, just working with the property owners, and then you have to kind of like, investigate and kind of prove that, oh, it's
But
on
is
your
it,
side, not
is
our
it the
side.
street
and we
trees that are
still go
causing the
around
problem,
it.
or are
But
they
Still
it could
involved.
be that there could be a
Actual
majority of
lot.
folks up there that say, we'll deal with our side sewers, we love our trees. Don't cut our trees down.
And then maybe if they're willing to replace the sidewalk panels.
That's why you gotta have a.
Right. That's why I'm thinking, if we get good cost together, good rationale, have the meeting with the folks, see what their feelings are, and go from there.
Okay.
You know, almost kind of like, maybe getting Vista.
Are we gonna adjourn?
Yes.
But how would you fix the panels if you leave the trees?
Sam, I'm going to adjourn this meeting because it's
We're over.
past 9
All right, thank you.
Already
Adjourned.
did it, though.